All right, good morning. How are we doing, everyone? Happy Wednesday. So let's take a look at the structure here. NQ, just continue to trade within this near-term range. If we zoom out a bit, flipping over to more of an hourly time frame chart here, you'll see, let's make sure you can actually see that. So you'll see kind of the primary sequence that we're in. We have that trend higher, right? Price pushes into a range there. We get another expansion move, another trend higher. Now we're in this next range. So range trading does continue. We're looking at an open here within essentially the middle of the prior day's range. I would prefer to see some action versus that prior day high, or perhaps into that 20K area, maybe even that prior day low area. Doesn't look like we're going to get an open near either of those points. So the main reference point I'll be looking at off the open here is that 150 level of interest, kind of a mid-range level of interest that we have. And this also aligns with the prior day volume point of control as well. So we know a lot of volume has been done there near that 150 area. Now, based on this prior day structure, buyers are definitely going to be interested in holding price above, this area of support, this kind of late afternoon area of support right through here. So that'll be one of the focus points early on in the session. Per usual, no rush, right? We want to see how that intraday structure builds out. We do have some 10 a.m. data today as well. So let's see what that gives us. Yesterday, that 10 a.m. data did ignite that nice push lower into that kind of near-term range support zone, right? And then buyers stepped in pretty heavily. So that area of support is definitely holding. We're still in this kind of bullish regime, right? We have not seen any break of the current structure that is overly bearish. And so that's kind of what we're working with right now. Now we do have, I think tomorrow we have Powell speaking. We got some big ones tomorrow. I know we've got Powell. I think we have GDP tomorrow. Let me double check. Yeah, we got GDP tomorrow, Powell speaking, and then Friday, as far as economic data is concerned, we have core PCE and Michigan consumer sentiment. So we've got some big ones coming up. We definitely have some bigger market moving economic prints coming up, right? So there is that possibility that price continues to trade within the near-term range here for today, and then maybe tomorrow or maybe Friday we start to see that breakout move. So some things to be thinking about as we get into the open here. Now let's jump over to ES, and you'll see the structure is pretty much exactly the same, right? Price just within. Let's go ahead and rescale this. There we go. Price just within that kind of near-term range, 3 to 4 session range. The difference here in ES is that ES is trading up near the all-time high. It has just made fresh all-time highs, right? Whereas NQ is not. So ES, you want to keep an eye on this prior day high area, this kind of area of near-term resistance right through here, and see if buyers are actually able to trigger the breakout early in the session, or if this resistance zone is going to be rejected. So I'd be looking at the reaction. If you're trading ES, you want to be looking at that reaction to prior day high and then the 5,800 upside level of interest. So that's going to be the focus. Now this is all resistance and near-term resistance here. Buyers, of course, trigger that breakout. But until they do, you want to be cautious in that resistance zone. So this 15-minute bar into the open looks pretty good as far as buying activity is concerned for ES. NQ a bit different there, huh? So I'll be looking at, again, the reaction into 2150. 150 is that level of interest. And if buyers can break that point and show acceptance, meaning hold above that point, we'll be looking at the pre-market high and then the prior day high as your next upside reference points there. So 1 minute till the open. Let's see what we get here. Coming into the open here in a few seconds. So see what this open is looking like. Shouldn't be any sort of gap this morning. Yeah, pretty much no gap. And again, looking at the reaction here to that 150 area, that prior day volume point of control, right there near 152. There's your push. So you want to, if this shows acceptance, you want to be looking at pre-market high. And that pre-market high is up into 192. So buyers, their main task right now is to hold that 150 area. Nice push here. Let's see how that pre-market high is going to be treated. Haven't seen an open like this all week. Refreshing. Definitely a nice change. And NQ coming into that prior day close. What are we doing with ES? So ES, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, you want to see if buyers can defend this prior day high right at 57.94.5. So watch the reaction into that zone. ES looking good there versus the prior day high. It was probably a scalpable opportunity. And there's NQ with a fresh session high as well. NQ working on that pre-market high now. If you happen to be in that opening drive, you want to be trimming some into this area. And same with ES. If you bought that prior day high retest, you want to be trimming into the highs there, into that 5,800 level of interest. NQ, perfect test of that pre-market high there, 192.5. Pretty strong open. Check that 5 minute. Next reference point for NQ above pre-market high is the prior day high. And ES back into that prior day high there. NQ just shy of 200 here. And that prior day high is 215. Yeah, if you're looking for a pullback, you can start to throw that fib out there, see what type of retracement you can get. Nice 60-point push off the open. Again, have not seen a open like this all week. Yeah, no FOMO. No FOMO. So far in the near term, in the intraday here, buyers doing a good job of showing acceptance above that prior day high for ES. Challenge right now is that you have that 5,800 overhead. That's going to be a psychological level. A couple points overhead. A little bit of a retracement here for NQ. ES as well. So again, you can take that fib retracement tool. Whoa. 50% is down into 172. Challenge right now is that NQ is near the upper portion of the near-term range and actually has not broken out just yet. So just FYI, something to keep an eye on. Yes, sir, top of range. No break of the prior day high just yet. There's your 5-minute. So let's see how it starts to build out now. As far as the intraday structure. We got the 3-drink specialty on this fine Wednesday. NQ almost into the 50% retracement here for that opening drive move. Yeah, watered up. No bid at the 50% retracement there. Now into the 61. No bid there either. Chasers are getting punished here. Hope you did not chase that move. Let's check the 15-minute here. Pretty big wick. Still have a couple minutes before it closes. But keep an eye on that. NQ back into 150 level of interest here. Round trip. Round trip. So 150 stays on watch for NQ. And it looks like VWAP is right below there, right at 138. How are we doing with ES? ES made a new low of day into VWAP here. So that's a rejection of your prior day high. So far, that's a failure, right? Failed breakout. See if NQ makes a new low as well. And then we have data at 10. Yeah, data at 10 a.m. So data in another 15 or so. NQ, some buyers stepping in there versus the 150 level of interest. And ES holding that first test of VWAP. If you're in any longs, make sure you manage those trades. That bounce saved that 15-minute bar. Take a look at that 15-minute now. So I always want to do that analysis at the true candle closure, not before. Who grabbed the bounce? Christopher grabbed the bounce, looks like. ES, any longs from VWAP? Make sure you're trimming into that prior day high there. It's your first spot to reduce and then go for the session high. In there, same here, nice. Nice. Riding that one with you guys. That was pretty straightforward. You got the level of interest there. Nice signal bar, prior day volume point of control. VWAP just below after a pretty explosive momentum move lower. That's kind of the idea behind that trade. Buyers need a break of the pre-market high now. Still in that area of resistance here on your near-term structure, so keep that in mind. And ES struggling with that prior day high as well. And Q coming into the session high here. Back into that 200 area. No real level there, but typically those double 0 points are going to be a psychological level. So far, much better action this morning than what we've seen all week. This is what we like right here. NQ, I have my trail just below 80. In case this pre-market high rejects. Expected a trend day coming into the session. Now price is still in the near term range. So range trading until we're not. At least for NQ. My focus is on NQ. NQ back into 200 there, coming into the session high. Can they break the high here? Can buyers break the high? Just shy of the high. Yeah, it happens, Dom. Part of the game. Part of the game. See if price actually breaks the high here. Wow, major divergence from ES as far as intraday structure is concerned. Wow. I still have my trail just below 80 on NQ. There goes the trail. There we are. 2 for 2 so far. See how the morning develops, how the structure develops. We got a nice wide range right now. Session low to session high, 68 points. Location does remain a little bit challenging. Still top of range with no breakout just yet. And about 8 minutes till data. Rescale my chart. I'm not sure what you mean. NQ session volume point of control just shifted to 185. As far as our 5 minute, we're still here. Still here. Some pretty good action, but keep location in mind. Still here. Oh, I got you. Trade management. So we have data in 7 minutes. It's the main watch now. So if you nailed that bounce in NQ, Main objective now should be to hold on to those gains for the session. Don't give them back. NQ retesting the session high here. Opening drive trade, the pre-market structure. Pre-market structure. This type of action right there here. I don't recommend trading opening drive. Don't recommend it, but that's what I like to see, this type of pre-market structure into the open. That's a trade I take maybe once every couple of weeks when the conditions are just right for it. So NQ made a fresh session high there. Just a blip higher. Just shy of that prior day high now. We want to see how this prior day high is treated into 10 a.m. If there's going to be any 10 a.m. reversal time. Or if the breakout is going to be triggered here. Now, the thing to keep in mind about NQ right now is if we do see a break of the prior day high, that would be price breaking this near-term structure, right? But what you need to remember is the fact that we do have the weekly pivot right at 250. So cautious into that 250 area. Would not be surprised to see sellers attempting to step in right there. There's a prior day high. Can get rid of that fib now. Two-minute still data. Easiest trade so far this morning, right through here. Right through here. A+ opportunity. Level of interest, prior day volume point of control, VWAP just below. Big velocity move. Strong signal bar. Let's see data. From cash into data, all cached. Here comes that data print. You can start to put your fib back in case we get any sort of retracement here. Oops, there we go. So new high being made there. And NQ is just shy of that 250. That 250 weekly pivot. How's ES doing? No new high over at ES yet. You had a retest of VWAP. That would be another long setup, a little bit lower quality, just based on the previous bounce there. NQ just into no man's land for me. I'm looking at either 250 or prior day high. Patience now. Patience, patience. ES really lagging. It's coming into the highs now, but definitely lagging NQ. Wow, volume really tapered off. See how the structure continues to build here. Tough location between the prior day high, like I mentioned, that near-term range breakout, and then the 250 area, the weekly pivot. Still a tough spot. ES back above that prior day high there. Still within today's range. Not much else to do here currently with price in no man's land, so we just wait. Just wait. NQ retesting the highs here. Yeah, prior day high would be nice. Prior day high, or even kind of that 200 area. Just based on the intraday structure. There's ES, new high of day for S&P. And you got NQ testing that 250 there. Remember, that's that weekly pivot. 250, 255. Post 10 a.m. I've not seen any opportunities, so like I said, just staying patient here. Volume really tapering out. Ahead of tomorrow's GDP, let's see the reaction here at 255, level of interest. So far, not many sellers showing up here at this weekly pivot. Slow drift higher. ES volume's pretty light as well. But ES is at an all-time high currently. There's NQ into the 255. Level of interest. Weekly pivot. Really don't need this fib on here anymore. Like I said, not a ton to do here. How's the morning so far? How we doing? There's that push up through the weekly pivot. No sellers whatsoever. No sellers. Green, small green, green. Didn't catch those morning moves, so just waiting. Good deal. Good dealio. cash. Sitting on that A plus, might shut it down early. Tea time soon. And we got a crazy storm in Dallas. 2 for 2, Benny, nice. Morning, Ray. So NQ up through 255 now. This is just that drift higher. Near-term range breakout up through the weekly pivot. All that has really been offered post 10 a.m. are very, very shallow pullbacks. Which can work, depends on how much conviction you have in the continued push higher, the continued trend day move. Don't like those shallow pullbacks, yeah. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Sometimes that's all the market gives, though, so. I've not placed a new trade since post 10 a.m. Just waiting. Just waiting. Fade the fast move. Yeah, if we get a pullback into prior day high, that would definitely be worth looking at. The problem at that point for me would be the weekly pivot maybe rejecting. So that would just make it a little tricky. ES, meanwhile, is just range bound. Take a look at the difference here. ES, range, sideways, no volume either. Wowzers. So you had a couple good opportunities here in ES at VWAP. A little bit of the 2-hour trader framework there. Meanwhile, NQ, big trend move. What time are we at? All right, about 10 minutes till 1 hour in. 1 hour into the sesh. See if we get any sort of selling here. Bring those fib retracements back. just shy of the 23% there. 23% fib retracement. You have the 38% loosely aligning with that prior day high, and then you got the 50% right there at the value area high. And that intraday structure high we talked about a few minutes ago. This whole area could definitely be interesting if it gets there. Big if at this point, but let's just see how the day continues to build out. Not even 1 hour in yet. Big retest of VWAP there in ES. Bounces into prior day high. You'd have to be probably on like the 15-second chart to catch that. Yeah, even then. Tough one. Very tough one. Probably have to be on Misha's 5-second chart. Five-second scalper. All right, price pulling in a bit more here. Let's see. Let's see. There's your 23% fib on NQ. Here comes that 38% fib as a reference point. More interesting in that area would be the prior day high. ES back into session low, failing to sustain that all-time high there. And potentially the first red 15-minute bar of the session here on NQ. A little more volume coming in here on NQ. How's our profile looking? Let's see. Okay. So volume point of control is not going to shift anytime soon for extended trading hours. And we're looking at the 215 area. Right through here, like I mentioned a few minutes ago. 215, maybe into 200. So far, buyer's pretty responsive in this zone. And we're back into 255 just about. For NQ, it's your weekly pivot. Could be a 30-minute shooting star here from weekly pivot. Let's take a look. Yeah, we need to see a sell here in the next 90 seconds. Definitely possible. Let's see. See how that shakes out. Yeah, that's like another good example of if you try and front run the analysis a bit, I mean, it can just get messy, very, very messy. Same example earlier this morning, looking at that big shooting star on NQ, that opening 15-minute bar, and then that huge bounce. So some more sellers stepping in there versus 255 on NQ. You got the 15-minute closure here in 30 seconds and the 30-minute. May actually get that shooting star. Yeah, some lower highs now, definitely. Check that 30-minute. So you actually get the shooting star there. There's your prior day high on NQ. So let's see. At what point do buyers start to step in, if at all? Especially with that 30-minute bar. So initially holding that prior day high. See if that little hammer there shows any follow through. How's ES doing? It's like ES tested the low to the tick. No new low. My chart freeze? Oh no, there it goes. Volume is so low in ES. Wow. Keep an eye on that 5-minute as well. The 5-minute can close as a hammer. That would look great for that prior day high long setup. This still has 3 minutes before it closes. How's our volume looking? Volume through price, that is. Looks like on the regular trading hours, you may see a shift. Price hangs out in this 233 area for a few minutes. You may get that shift. Decent little bounce so far. Challenge is, like Dom mentioned, the lower highs now, right? So buyers need a break of that most recent lower high there. Keep an eye on this 5-minute closure here. Buyers looking for that hammer with some follow through. Hamsky. Let's see, 30 seconds. Shooting star weekly pivot, yeah, the 30-minute chart. It's true. But can it actually show follow through? TBD. Price right now is just back into that kind of near-term range high, right? ES defended the low successfully. There's your 5-minute. Not a true hammer, but kind of has that shape a little bit. So, like I said, buyers looking for some follow through here on this candle. A couple more minutes and you'll have that volume point of control shift up here as well. A little more than 1 hour into the sesh at this point. One hour into the cash session. NQ making another attempt at that 250, 255 area. Got more Halloween music in my headphones. No, thank you. Decent little push there from the prior day high. Mish, did you grab the long? You were talking about it. Who grabbed the long at prior day high? Show yourself. $235. Locked half at 250. Martin got 10 points there. Dom said if he didn't, I did for him. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't blame you guys for keeping that one tight. It's a tough spot here. Caught between that near-term structure and that weekly pivot. So sellers right now, they want to see this be another lower high. If we get into the nitty gritty here, that recent structure, buyers want a break of this area right through here, and most likely you'll see a retest of the highs there and potentially a push up and through. Market structure. In QQQ, nice. QQQ. The triple Qs. See what sort of action we get into 11 a.m. About 20 minutes. Right now we're just watching to see if buyers can successfully defend the prior day high with a push back up and through the weekly pivot at 255. This area right through here. 255, here's your weekly pivot right there. Meanwhile, ES just choppy range bound, pretty messy. Some more sellers stepping in here on NQ. Next 15-minute bar closes up here in 2 minutes. There we go. That regular trading hours session volume point of control just shifted up into 235 now. That yellow line right through here. It's the most volume for the session so far. Potential lower high here in the making. Trailed out, Dom. All right, take care, man. Nice day. NQ into that 38% fib again there. Right near that prior day high. See what sort of action we get into 11 a.m. here in about 15 minutes. Can sometimes get a decent setup around 11 a.m. Sandwich, 15-minute doji, yeah. Location, it's tough right here. Tough spot. Because again, you got the near-term structure down below and then that weekly pivot just above. Should get some more clues here in the next 15 minutes. NQ coming back into that prior day high now. See if we get some test of the that 50% retracement or not. Here's what my day looks like. Still just with the 2 trades. Nothing else has been all that compelling so far personally. So staying patient here. Staying patient. Nah, I didn't love that setup. Did not love that setup. See if price gives a retest here into that 50% fib. Or if buyers are going to defend the prior day high again. Volume for the session, regular trading hour session, is currently overhead. So a little bit of a headwind there for buyers. NQ back in a prior day high here. Retesting the low of that most recent bounce right through here. This candle right through here, the 10:30 a.m. candle. And there it is, down and through. There's your 50% retracement of the regular trading hours move, session low to session high. So let's see how the structure continues to set up here as we get into 11 a.m. Did ES make a new low? Let's see. Yeah, ES with a new low of day there as well. New low of day for ES. %, retrace holds to the tick there on that initial test. Gotta love the fibs. Gotta love it. Now let's see if this 15-minute closes as that hammer that Benny was talking about like 45 minutes ago now. That could actually be pretty interesting. Still have 8 minutes before this candle closes, but just keep an eye on that current 15-minute bar here. Almost a little bit of a spring setup there, right? Undercut of the prior low. You got some structure there. You got your fib. You still have your reference point, your prior day high. And you got buyers stepping in. Their main objective now, buyers, is to break this most recent lower high. See if they can do it. Back into the prior day high for NASDAQ. Meanwhile, ES is back into the range, the intraday range. Took another 10 points. Nice. Scalping it. Oh, there's that session volume point of control shift for the extended trading hour sesh up into 233 now. Keep an eye on that 15-minute bar. 5 minutes till it closes. 5 minutes. Almost 90 minutes into the session here. Good ES just tested the prior day volume point of control. Pretty much, yeah, to the tick exactly. And bounces 6-7 points. Check out that 15-minute bar on ES. Big hammer. Still 4 minutes before it closes, right? So not too early to be doing complete analysis on it, but here's that 5 minute on ES. Price just retesting. Prior day volume point of control right through there. Trying to see if this 11 a.m. action here gives any sort of setup to work with. Per usual. Give it probably another 10 minutes, 10-15 minutes. That'll be time to shut it down for the morning. It's the game plan right now. And 2 minutes till that 15-minute bar closes. Just want to see if that bar can end up closing as a hammer. Ideally green. And then she'll follow through, meaning some push through the high. It's kind of what we're looking at right now. volume has really tapered down, so don't have huge expectations right now. No update on ES, just kind of churning through that intraday range. Not much movement there on the S&P. Just kind of churning near that 5790 session volume point of control and VWAP. Not much to work with there currently. And NQ, you got that 15-minute bar closing up here in a couple seconds. So not a green close for that candle. It is shaped like a hammer. Still needs to show that follow through. So, but based on current action and volume, let's see what we get right here. But it's looking most likely time to call it a day, or at least a morning. Call it a morning. See how these next 5-10 minutes shape up. Just settling into barcode here. And don't forget we have GDP tomorrow as well as Powell's speech. So definitely we'll see more movement tomorrow, and then core PCE on Friday and MCS as well at 10 a.m. So next couple of days should see more activity, more volume, more volatility, ideally, hopefully, right? See if NQ can break that 240 area. See how buyers are feeling here. Showing a little bit of a break of that prior 15-minute bar high. So now they need the follow through. Gotta have that follow through. Otherwise it doesn't mean much. A little blip above means nothing. Need continuation. Need that acceptance. You know, just right back into that little bit of barcode there. Alrighty, folks. I think that's about it. Not expecting a ton here, given volume and the current action. So thanks for jumping into the stream. Appreciate you guys spending the morning with me. Hope you made some money today. At the very least, gained some value from the live commentary and analysis. If you have questions, feel free to reach out in the Traders Think Tank. You know where to find me. Just 2 trades for me today. So far, anyway. See how the early afternoon sesh looks, but pretty limited expectations. Just given the economic calendar. So I'll chat with you guys in the think tank. We'll keep it going in there. Have a good rest of your day.